Frida, 2002. This is a biography, drama and romance about Frida Kahlo. There's a documentary out at the moment that uses archive footage of Frida Kahlo. Confusingly, Frida 2024. I haven't seen that. I think that's on another streaming platform, so probably won't be able to see it right now. I saw this film and found it an amazing journey. It's a biographical drama about the life of Frida Kahlo, the Mexican artist. I knew very little about her when I was preparing for a recent quiz on LGBT History Month, where I was looking up some questions that related to neurodiversity as well. Frida Kahlo was one of the LGBT people that came up as possible answers. I didn't know much about her apart from that she was from Mexico and she was a painter. But this story goes through her whole life. It doesn't cover everything. I've read a bit more about her since watching the film, but it covers a lot of the main points. And I found it such an awe-inspiring story, such a roller coaster of emotions. There were things about her life that struck a chord with me simply because I broke a bone in my back in 2021. Thankfully, nowhere near as badly as the injuries that Frida sustained when she was involved in a trolleybus crash in 1925. The film starts with her as a schoolgirl and when she's with her friends and they spy on an artist, Diego Rivera. When she revealed that she was watching her friend scarpered, but she stands up and boldly makes a little dig at Diego. So Diego gets to know Frida very well over the years ahead, and they actually get married, and their lives are intertwined, and yet it isn't a very easy time that they have. The behaviour that she witnesses right at the start when he's cheating on his wife, well, he carries on that behaviour. Although when she gets to know him and she's disappointed that he's still like that, she's probably less surprised. There's so much that happens in this film. A lot of it is her early life, her work as an artist, the painting she does. A lot of it really captured me. Some of it I found quite difficult. A lot of her art has significant emotional impact, and that is what artwork's all about. By watching this film, I can really understand it. I got to see a lot of her pain. How she's played by Salma Hayek is really amazing. I absolutely loved it. I loved her portrayal of Frida. I liked a lot of the other acting as well, the different characters like Frida's parents, and she had difficult relationships, especially with her mother. And her mother certainly didn't particularly like Diego. Then there's the fact that she was bisexual, and so she had relationships with women. She was a queer woman. It caused a lot of difficulty between her and her mother. Some of the artwork really bothered me. There was one who was from a news story. This man stabbed his wife 22 times or something, and she made artwork out of it. I found that really difficult. The artwork, her self-portraits, I thought they were amazing. She's wearing this metallic back brace. The portrayal of her struggle with her pain, the chronic pain she suffered with for so many years, really had a huge impact on me. So much so, I think it went into my subconscious, because last night I had a dream. It was a really difficult dream. It involved landslides and earthquakes, and it was kind of like set in Islington, and yet almost like somewhere in Latin America, or climate more like Mexico. I've often had those sort of dreams where I've had a layer of Islington, somewhere I'm familiar with, London, and yet there's a sort of hot climate. The day I injured my back, I had a dream following a film, and so this morning I was really worried that history was repeating itself and I was going to injure myself somehow. So it had a real visceral impact on me, and yet it was really impressive. I was just thinking about it so much. I suppose subconsciously I think about how life can be immensely unsettling. It probably was even more so back when Frida was growing up. She travelled to the USA. She gave it her own mocking name. She stayed in New York and in Chicago. There were ups and downs in her relationship with Diego Rivera. At the same time, she had relationships as well. At one point, when she's back in Mexico in the 1930s, Leon Trotsky is exiled to Mexico, and I read up a bit about his life and how he moved through various countries whilst his life was under threat after leaving Russia. He moved in with Diego Rivera and Frida and lived there for a while. But the story is complicated and I won't go into the details, but that whole story I knew very little about, and following all of Frida's relationships early on when she outstages Diego and one of his friends out drinking them. There were some great scenes all the way through. She just had so much spirit, she had so much life, and yet she was living with so much chronic pain and disability. And so there's a lot of tragedy in the film as well. All of the ups and downs I lapped up, and it was done so well. I'm going to score it 9 out of 10. I really appreciate learning about an artist like Frida. Often painters I've not understood, certainly a lot of 20th century artists, modern art, I don't always understand that well. I think it goes over me. I perhaps haven't taken the time to understand it. I haven't studied it enough. Art is so important. Creativity is so important. And there's so much to learn. In our lives, we only scrape so much of what's available out there. There's so many books to read, so many films to watch. To get a snapshot of someone's life, as in this film, which is just under 2 hours, I really appreciated being immersed in the world of 100 years ago, seeing how things were, seeing another perspective on the history of those decades in the 20th century leading up to the times I know when I was born and when I was alive, seeing how the world was, how things developed into the world that I understand. I really appreciate that about films and other forms of art that allow me to experience and understand history. That's my perspective on this film. I really liked it. I'd love to know what you think about it. If you've liked this review, please smash that like button. Thank you if you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.